Hey there, bats and black cats. My name's Steve. I'm one of the minions that help bring Haunts on the Ridge to life every year. We're going to try something a bit different this year. I'm going to make a short video for you on something that we call corpsing. It just helps your skeletons stand out a bit more from everyone else's. So if you want to give them a bit of a spruce up, come with me and we'll have a look at how it's done. So this technique's really simple and very cost effective. So it's really basic. There's other ways you can do this. There's ways you can improve on it, things like that. But to start with, this is the gear we'll need. Just a basic skeleton from Kmart or anywhere like that. I'm just using a really cheap heat gun. Pick that up from the local hardware store. Any sort of paints, depending on your theme that you're after. I'm more pumpkin patchy theme, so I'm going for the greens and greys. I've got some blacks and reds later on for the gore. And then you'll just need plastics. So the other thing you might need is some safety gear, because you are going to be melting plastic, but we've got a really windy day. It's the reason for the poor quality video, plus the fact I don't really know what I'm doing. So any sort of plastic will do too. Don't sleep on the plastic. If you've got bits of scrap, scrap plastic lying around, just use any sort of plastic will do. But because I'm going to be doing a lot this season, I've just picked up a roll from my local hardware store, Bunnings. I think it's like $12 to $15. And also, if you're looking to make sort of charred or burnt sort of skeletons, any sort of black building plastic will do. That'll do just fine. Okay, we've got our skeleton and plastic ready. We're good to go. Just a couple of things to remember that I brought up before. We are going to be heating up plastic on top of this thing. So plastic, when it heats up, it's hot. So be careful not to touch it. You could burn yourself, and also if you don't have a well ventilated area outside, make sure you're wearing a mask or some sort of face protection. So here we go. All we're going to do is just layer the plastic over the top. Don't have to be too particular. It doesn't really matter how we do it. That's the good thing about Halloween, is that if something doesn't line up properly, or if something's not on the perfect angle, it doesn't matter. It's very forgiving, and it looks really spooky. So this wind's going to make it pretty trying. It's going to give me a bit of grief, but we'll just have to bear with it. A small price to pay for good ventilation. Alright, so we'll start our first layer now. Just heat gun, hottest setting, and we're just going to brush over it and melt it onto the skeleton. You see that melts pretty quick? One thing we do have to be careful of is not to put the heat gun on one particular area for too long. These skeletons, they are plastic, so unless you want to move the bones or put an indent in it or anything like that, you will melt your skeleton if you hold it for too long. So you can see that's already starting to get pretty gross. We've got a long way to go, so we'll speed things up a bit, but a few more layers. We just keep adding layers and melting and adding layers. So as you can see, that's already starting to look pretty gross, and that's just with a few layers. So if you add a few more, like I'm going to, You can hold that gun on as long as you want. You can see you can start to get those different layers of melting plastic in there, and then you can really give it that decayed corpse look. So I'll add a few more, and then we'll throw a little bit of base paint on, and we'll see how it looks. Okay, so I've done a little bit of extra work here off camera and just given this guy a good coat of green spray paint, just because, as I said, he's going to be one of my pumpkin patch features. That's all I want a corpse for him, for the head down to the waist. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to throw a bit of a dry brush over him. I've got some leftover paint from my pumpkin stems that I've been painting. And if you're not familiar with dry brushing, all you're doing, it's a bit hard with one hand here, but all you're doing is just lightly running the brush over the top of your corpsing. And you can see how those layers that we've done before in the plastic are really going to stand out here, because when you dry brush, all you're doing is just running that paint over that very top layer of plastic. And that's just going to make all those little holes and yucky bits and really pop and stand out. So once we get him under a nice bit of blue lighting or green lighting, he's going to look like he's come from the swamp. As I mentioned before too, corpsing isn't just for your skeletons and things like that. You can use them on any number of things. Just an example I want to give here is a pumpkin stem that I'm making for my pumpkin patch. That's just a pool noodle wrapped in plastic, same principle, just layered and melted with the heat gun. And I'm just going to quickly add a little bit of dry brushing here with the green as well. And the good thing, you can see I haven't actually covered all the pool noodle either. You can actually see some of the reds and things like that under it. That's the good thing about Halloween, as I've said before. It's not perfect, just like the rest of us. You don't have to do everything absolutely immaculate. It'll all hide in the darkness. So this isn't a fluorescent paint either, but if you run a blue light or a color changing light over these, it'll still pick that green up nice and make it pop a bit. Okay, so I think that'll do it for our basic corpsing video. You can see there with a side-by-side comparison that it definitely makes a difference. It really changes the look of your skeleton, and for a minimal cost. I've gone a little bit extra with this guy, and I've just grabbed some vines from Temu and wrapped them around some, what do you call that there, gap filler foam tubing, and just painted it brown so it looks like a vine. So you can definitely be as creative as you like with these things. There's no limit to the imagination. Just grabbing anything off the shelf, really, painting it and see how it looks. You can add the, as I said before, the decking wall, different coloured plastics, anything like that. Bit of foam, expander foam, that's always good for a bit of gore. So, all right, that'll just about do it for me, I think. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it for you. Yeah, if you've come up with something creative this season, definitely throw a picture on the Haunts on the Ridge page on Facebook. I'd love to see what you've created. Thanks everyone, bye. And that's the end result. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you got, so we're going to lose him.